Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Dearborn Heights March 14th regular meeting of the Dearborn Heights City Council. Madam Clerk, can you please take roll call?
Make sure that microphone's on. Dave Abdallah,
Here.
Hassan Ahmad,
Here.
Mo Beydoun,
Here.
Nancy Breyer. Here. Robert Constant,
Here.
Ray Muscat,
Here.
Tom Wenzel.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Next up is our Pledge of Allegiance, and this one's going to be led by our birthday girl, our clerk, Lincinia. It's her birthday today.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
And now everybody in the audience is going to sing happy birthday, right? No. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, everyone.
I know. Yeah, we didn't sing it for Mo, but we'll sing it for the Madam Clerk. Okay.
I didn't sing so because I didn't want anybody to leave.
All right, next up is our agenda approval.
Council
Item
Chair.
number 3, Councilman Beydoun.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the agenda of the regular meeting of March 14th, 2023 as submitted.
Support. Motion made by Councilman Beydoun and seconded by Councilman Constant. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes, item 4A.
Council Chair,
Councilman, go ahead.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the minutes for the regular meeting of February 28, 2023, as outlined in 4-A.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Muscat. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is public hearings and comment, and this is specifically on agenda items only. Now, what I'm going to ask is for those in the audience and those on Zoom, if you'd like to go up to speak on anything on the agenda, you're more than welcome to, because as you all know, I'm a big believer in freedom of speech. At the same time, please make sure that we keep it calm, make sure no swearing, no attacking. Get up and talk about whatever you want to talk about on the agenda, but let's just keep it professional, please. So anybody in the audience that would like to speak on anything on the agenda? I think, I don't know who,
I just told him.
who's handling, do you know who's handling that one, man? Yeah, Angela will flip it up. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak on an agenda item as a resident?
I'm a resident that happens to be a city councilman.
Right, but you're speaking as a resident, correct?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We'll go ahead and start first. Come on up.
All right, thank you. Item 9H, the Dad's Club allotment. I've been involved with the Dearborn Heights District 7 Dad's Club for nearly 50 years. Got my 3x5 card here, everybody. And I've sponsored teams. I've coached baseball, basketball, and football. I'm a commissioner who runs the sports. I've ran baseball, basketball, 16 years. I ran the football program. I was a board member for 30 years. Winner of the most prestigious award in the Dad's Club gives out, the Ed Roding Award. And there's been many great dedicated people throughout the years and from the past, and especially recently. We have some really dedicated people. The Dad's Club is the oldest nonprofit youth sports organization in the country. And this year, 2023, they'll be celebrating their 70th year. And there'll be activities going on throughout the year. I told the people from the Dad's Club that I'd come up here and mention this. Expect things to happen, different events, different functions going on, a banquet. And we hope we can work with the city Parks and Recreation Department on this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wenzel. And just for the records, street name and city. Tom Wenzel, street name and city, please.
You said the ordinance guy by, 2-lane
Street,
No,
Dearborn Heights.
No
Not
address,
street, not address, just street.
Two-lane, he
said
said.
two-lane.
Two lane? Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you.
Two lane over at the college.
Rachel Lapointe, Merrick Street, Dearborn Heights. Regarding, what is it, 9A, the closure of the bank accounts, Phase 1, I think that's a great idea. I hope you guys support that. I think after the study session the other day, it's really clear that it's a necessary step that needs to be taken, and I think that the phase approach is a great idea. I think it'll give you guys the opportunity to see if you're seeing the results that you want to see from closing the accounts. I think the treasurer's biggest concern was that making sure that those accounts are fully reconciled maybe before they're closed or in that process of closing them. I think that this is a good way to break it into those small chunks and move forward working together as a team. And then I did have a question. I know we do the with 9H with the D7 Dads Club amounts. I know there's other organizations that get money, and there's been concern among some members of the community if an organization, and I'm not saying it's the Dads Club, but how the city decides how those are given out, if there's any sort of procedure for that, and what sort of requirements that you guys might have for how that gets decided, if it just is at the decision of the Parks and Rec director, or if there's some further process to that. So when you guys get to that, I don't know if you would discuss that or not. I know that's a pretty big question. But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public activist, lives in Dearborn. The bank accounts that you guys said you were gonna close, I think you guys should close at least three, say every 2 months, to make it, like, not rush yourself. By the time 6 months comes, just give it like 10 bank accounts and see where you go from there. You know, rushing is not gonna get us nowhere. We just have to adjust the money and see where the money is. You know, that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anybody else in the audience that has questions on agenda items? Or comments, I'm sorry.
Sansop, John Daly, Dearborn Heights. As for the bank account closings, there going to be some kind of oversight on what was on those bank accounts, you know, for the past 24 months, 36 months. Is there going to be some kind of accounting done on it? Is Plant Moran going to account them or audit them? Because I know
Plant Moran will be the one that will be overseeing this, and of course, working with the controller,
not the treasurer's office though, right?
not treasurer's.
Okay.
Controller
Thank you.
primarily.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else in the audience on agenda items? Seeing none, anybody on Zoom, Madam Clerk? I don't see anybody, but do you?
Yes.
You do see somebody?
Yes.
Vince.
Vince, okay.
Vince Drapkowski.
Go ahead, Vince.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Mr. Mayor, if you're there, I don't know. Can't
He's
see.
here.
He is.
Pardon me?
He's here.
He's here.
Okay. What I was trying to get.
Wait, I'm gonna interrupt you for a sec. Remember, I need name, city, street, please.
Sorry, Vince Drapkowski, Columbia Street,
Dearborn Heights.
Dearborn Heights, Michigan, Wayne County. Last week I spoke on the closing of the accounts, and I was concerned, when you're separating these accounts, I think it would be wise to keep the Community and Economic Development Department and grant monies separate from the general funding. I know this is old school thinking, but I think that money should be separate from the general account. That way, if there is issues with the federal money, you can go directly to those accounts without having to second guess anything that's in the general accounting or the general fund. So consider that when you bring this closings and all that together. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I do see Treasurer Lisa Hicks Clayton. Obviously, this is a public comments section. Unless you're going to be speaking as a resident, we'll have to wait until we get to that particular agenda item. Madam Treasurer, can you hear us?
Okay. Hello, hi, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, but are you speaking, because this is a public comments. I'm sorry.
Yes, that is correct. Regarding the bank accounts, which of course we had a study session and fully agree with the phasing, and I think that's a great idea. I just wanted to reiterate though that the bank accounts are audited annually. They're part of the certified audit that Alan Young did, and so I plan to run in the previous years. So that is part of the certified audit process because we turn in all that information, as well as to the comptroller who's responsible for the reconciliation. So that is done, that's a check and balance as provided for in the charter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hearing or seeing no other ones, next up is fund transfers and current claims.
Council Chair,
Councilman
I move
Baydun,
that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the current claims 6-1 through 6-25 as submitted. Support.
motion made by Councilman Baydun and seconded by Councilman Muscat. Any discussion?
Council Chair,
Councilman, go ahead.
I would have asked this question earlier, but it came to my attention that the citizens need some clarification. I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is about the bulk pickup that's being charged. Question is, the homeowners are getting charged for that bulk pickup, not the city. Am I correct on saying that?
You are correct, Councilman.
So that if they don't pay, it gets put on the taxes of the home, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I knew the answer, but I wanted to be 100% sure before I told someone the wrong answer. Thank you very kindly.
Okay, thank you very much. And just since we're on that subject, might as well, I was speaking with Director Conrad, I know I've seen him earlier. Yeah, the city has subcontracted or just brought out, they're bringing out priority waste to come out on Saturday to pick up any additional trees that had fallen down during the storm that had fallen from the easement area. Obviously, if you had a tree go down or a limb go down and it's on your own property which would be from the sidewalk going backwards, that's your situation. But anything that was a part of the easement, they're gonna go street by street. Now, the city's also already gone street by street, but they're coming back out to do additional pickups, just so that you know. Okay?
Council Chair, now we're on this, what do they charge for that bulk pickup? This is what the residents know, because I know, I've been telling people, if you got something.
It's on your paperwork here, what they charge these houses, and it goes according to how much they have. If you look at your paperwork, it'll be right there,
Which one, which we're at?
right at the beginning.
Yeah, I'll tell you the example. They were looking at 200 for each.
And Council Chair.
200, 300, et cetera.
There's no FOIA, it's right here on our paperwork. He has it.
Yeah. Here's an example, Councilman. I'm gonna give you examples. I'm not gonna name the particular homes, but examples. 275, 275, 225, 475, 250, 200, 150, 50, 50, 375, 275.
It all depends on how much
So it
they
depends on how
have.
much you got.
Council Chair.
Councilman, go ahead.
Please, no comments.
Please,
No
Hassan, I
comments,
told you when we walked in,
Okay.
to that point, in the sub where I live, there was a carpet installer. Every trash, this was years ago, all the carpet, he had a commercial business, put it all out on the front lawn, and it didn't get picked up, and they should have to pay for bulk pickup.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do get charged.
Do they tell
Okay,
the residents
any-
when they call for a bulk pickup? When the residents calls for a bulk pickup, does priority say it costs you $100?
They call DPW.
They don't call it
They call
Why do
DPW.
you call it priority?
As far as I know, they call DPW.
They
But I
call
don't know. I've never had it, so I don't know. All right. Any other questions on fund transfers and current claims? Hearing none. This is a motion made by Councilman Baydun and seconded by Councilman Muscat. With no other items on this, all in favor, please state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is item 7A, consideration of bids.
Council Chair,
Councilman, go ahead.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council award the bid for the annual on-call as needed lateral sewer tap repairs to the LED Lion Incorporated as the lowest responsive bidder, and authorize the comptroller's office to return all bid bonds to the unsuccessful bidders. In addition, authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the updated contract on behalf of the city when provided as outlined in 7A.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Muscat and seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Next item on the agenda, we got item 8A, Library Advisory Board appointments.
Council Chair,
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
I recommend that the Dearborn Heights City Council concur with the following mayoral reappointments to the Library Advisory Board. Emmy Peck and John Zadikian, terms to expire February 2025. Eulalia Cohen and Christine Sullivan Rathwell, terms to expire February 2026. Furthermore, concur with the mayoral appointment of B.L. Hamoud to the Library Advisory Board, term to expire February 2026. This is to fill a vacancy left by Roy Pilot, as outlined in 8H.
Support. Motion made by Councilwoman Breyer, seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion on that?
Council Chair,
Go ahead, Councilman.
I see only probably one of the appointees over here today. Anybody else from the appointees? Because I didn't receive any biography or any, maybe small.
I have a biography on the new appointee. The other ones have been on the board for some time.
I don't think so.
Chris Sullivan's the former personnel director for Dearborn Heights.
Okay, so it's my honor to introduce Bilal Hamoud. He's a Crestwood graduate, has a bachelor's degree in neuropsychology and public health from Wayne State University. He has loved our libraries for many years. He has also done a great deal of community work, including work with Crestwood Model UN and the Dearborn Heights Rotary. So that's the bio I had on him. In terms of Emmy Peck, she's been leader of the Friends for about 15 or 20 years, running our book sales. John Zadikian is our social media specialist for the city. Eulalia Cologne is a local businesswoman, and she lives in North Dearborn Heights and has been on our board for a number of years. And who did I miss here? Oh, Christine Sullivan Rathwell is our former HR director, and she's also a member of the League of One Voters.
Council Chair.
Go ahead, Seth.
No, so a question was brought up by one of the council members, and they're probably uncomfortable asking it, so I'll ask it anyways.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily to you. And this one's not necessarily in regards to the library advisory board, but any type of board or commission. The question is it a conflict of interest if a certain member, and again, this is no reference to specifically John Zadikian, in any commission or board, if they are employees of the city in one form or another, is it a conflict of interest for them to be on a commission?
Council Chair, I just want to answer that for myself because I asked that question when I was on the Cultural Relations Commission, and if he's not being, and this was based on the charter, because I looked into it, if John Zadikian is not being paid on this advisory board, which I believe he's not, then it's fine. He can work for the city and be on this advisory board. So it's actually not a conflict of interest.
Okay. And you were told that by the attorney, I presume?
Yes.
Okay.
At the time, I actually read it through the charter, and the opinion was given to me, and so that I was able, me and the mayor actually had this conversation, so.
Yeah, I was on the tax review board prior to being elected to the city council, and I, as the attorney at that time, and basically it was a gray area, but I decided
getting
for
paid?
me, I didn't,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then
tax
you're not
review
allowed
board.
to be on there.
Right, okay. All right, so motion made by Councilwoman Breyer, seconded by Councilman Constant.
Council Chair.
Oh, you had a question, Claude?
Yes, and I thank you for that, and because realistically, if had you not given me that information, my vote was gonna be no, despite the fact that I know everybody here.
Okay.
But, it's simply just a breakdown, a biography of really who we are appointing there's nothing wrong with that. And I think this body here has asked for that for a while, and so I thank you.
I will say, I had submitted a recommendation of the mayor. The bio was on that particular letter. The mayor had to rewrite it for his appointment letter, and so that's what happened.
Thank
But
you.
it wasn't in the original letter.
Thank you.
And Emmy Peck is a professor at Wayne State University.
Yeah.
Thank you, congratulations, Mr. Hamoud.
All right, well,
Hopefully we all.
let's wait to vote. So, all
Well,
in
let's hear
favor?
from Bilal first. Why, can we hear from you first, Bilal? Why would you like to serve on that board?
Come on.
Went to high school in Dearborn Heights.
If you'd like to, sure, come on.
I'll keep this interview process quite brief. I actually went to Dearborn High, not Crestwood, just to clarify there. I lived in Dearborn Heights my whole life. I grew up in the Caroline Kennedy Library. It's the reason I visited museums. It's my home, and it's a place I want to look after and take care of. So with the recommendation of the director, Mike McCaffrey, I'm excited to serve on the board and assist and continue to see it grow, both the north side and the south side at the John F. Kennedy Library.
I think you're gonna do a great job.
Thank you for willing to serve.
Thank you.
So all in favor, please state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is item 8B, Running Fit Annual Martian Marathon.
Council Chair.
Councilman, go
I move
ahead.
that the Dearborn Heights City Council grant permission to the Running Fit event to hold their Martin Marathon on Saturday, April 15th, 2023 at 6:15 a.m. as outlined in 8B.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Bedun, seconded by Councilman Muscat. Any discussion? All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. All right, next item on the agenda is item 9A.
Council Chair,
Councilman, go ahead.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the closure of the following bank account to be completed by April 28, 2023. In addition, authorize the treasurer to move the funds to the general ledger and bank account listed for each item as outlined in 9-A.
Support.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad and seconded by Councilman Constant. Any discussion?
Council Chair,
Go ahead, Councilman.
I would like to ask, this is mine, but I'd like to have someone from the administration, if possible, describe the 1% and how it's allocated so everyone knows what it really is for.
And this would be the 1% tax administration fee.
I mean,
1% administrative fee.
I'm sorry I have to add, but people are asking me all these questions, and I want to make sure that they get it all properly done. I read the email today. I know what it's about, but I'm getting hounded by a lot of people. So if we can get it done, that would be nice. Thank you.
Go ahead. Chief of Staff Hernandez.
Good afternoon. My name is Mariana Hernandez. Briefly, just to summarize this, every city has an allowance of 1% of their tax fees for administration. So it's in the title, administration. What does that mean? That is all of your staff salaries, all of your actuary reports, all of your investment advisors, all of your assessing staff, all of the invoices that we send out to everybody, all of the assessing documents we send out to everybody, all of your tax documents. So if you combine the Treasurer's Department, the Comptroller's Department, and the Assessor's Department, as well as all of our contractual services associated with each of those, that's what that money is for. No other city really separates that money into a specific bank account, again, because the expenses are in your general fund, not in a separate expense. So again, that's why Plant Moran has recommended that we bring that back into the general fund, track it in a general ledger, and continue to use it for our administrative expenses.
Thank you.
Council Chair.
Councilman?
And just to add, and I know Mariana just forgot this, that to reimburse the city for the money that we collect and send to Wayne County, our expense for collecting the money for Wayne County.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman.
Council
The only thing I'd
Chair?
like to add on this is, I'm glad we've started with phase one based on Plant Moran's, which is the official accounting agency for our city. I'm glad that we started with that. There's still 40 depends on how this vote goes, but at this particular point, we had at 1.44 accounts. It was 4 accounts were already closed, so we're down to 40. And then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are gonna be closed off. I want to continue to move to our goal of what Plant Moran recommended, which is around 13 ideally, or even 15, or anything even under 20. But I definitely don't want to go as high as we are at this particular point, so I'm glad we've at least started the process.
Council Chair?
Councilman, go ahead.
And honestly, I kind of echo that as well. We're a small municipality, even 10 would be ideal, just for everybody's sake. But what I would like to add on to this, and maybe the comptroller or our treasurer will do, when we close out these accounts, can she send us an email letting us know what was in each account? So that,
How much was transferred?
Correct.
Okay.
Council Chair?
She's on there? Yes, Councilman, go ahead.
Yeah, this 1%, two things. 1% doesn't seem much, but how much is 1%? Does anybody have a ballpark? What 1% is?
It's probably somewhere between 650 and 800,000 a year.
Now, this is the recoup costs for these people. Aren't they already on a salary? Isn't it
Well, that's,
budgeted?
everybody gets paid through the departments, like you gotta do it for water, and all the other departments, so that's how that goes, and it's gotta pay for the salaries. And it's for the advisement boards, so there's a lot more to it than just paying salaries.
And isn't it something that we?
That's all in the budget, though, isn't it? It's already in the budget.
Okay. Guys,
Excuse me,
go
excuse
through
me.
the chair, but let's have Mariana want to come up.
Yeah, because my question is,
Real quick.
Councilman Bedun has a question. Go
Just
ahead.
real quick, and I think just to kind of help answer this, because I believe I spoke with the director about this a couple of years ago. We voted on this, and I was in Mexico, I believe, when we voted on this. And I really dug into this, and the city's been doing this, I think, for many, many years.
Many years, yeah.
This wasn't
Every city
something
does.
that like.
All cities do it.
This isn't something that just came appeared out of nowhere. So this has been done for, I think, since the city's been in operation, but I could be mistaken. But from what I know, I think it used to be at 0.5%. We brought it up to 1% prior to that, but we've always had an administration fee, and it was levied to the taxpayers, I believe, correct?
Correct. And to answer Tom Wenzel's question, yes, the revenue of the 1% for the taxes is in our budget. And it's one of those revenues that balances our expenses for those administrative fees that we incur for collecting taxes. So again, they balance each other, revenues, expenses. They've both always been there.
But the discussion right now isn't about where we, when we voted on this or not. This has already been, done and over with. This is to close down the account where the admin fee was put into.
Right.
And now it's going into the general ledger.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so a motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Constant. All in favor, please state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Congratulations to all involved. This is a great start for our city.
Yes.
Next up is item 9B, Treasurer Hicks Clayton, LIWAP agreement.
Council Chair,
Councilwoman, go ahead.
I recommend a motion that Dearborn Heights City Council approve the City of Dearborn Heights Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program known as LIHWAP agreement with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the agreement on behalf of the city as outlined in 9B.
Second. Okay, motion made by Councilwoman Breyer and seconded by Councilman Muscat. Is there any discussion on that?
Council Chair?
Councilman, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this was called something else before, but I don't know, I assume it's on the agenda, I assume we do have to vote on it, but this is automatic. It used to be called the RAP program in the past. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. All right, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is item 9C, and this is Treasurer Hicks Clayton, BLN agreement.
Council Chair,
Councilman Muscat?
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the amended task order for BLN Emergency Management LLC to include technical assistance, establish the augmentation of the Michigan Homeowners Assistance Fund and Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program for the City of Dearborn Heights and the Treasurer's Office, the Program Administrator. In addition, authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the amended task orders on behalf of the city. Compensation for these services will be calculated on the hourly basis from the American Rescue Plan Act funds as allowed under ARPA final rule, with expenses not to exceed $15,000 as outlined in 9C.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Muscat, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion on that? I had a question for the treasurer. And I know I spoke with you already about this by phone, but I'll repeat it for some of the council members just in case. So one of the concerns that I had is, at one point, I know the treasurer had been very concerned about needing additional help, possibly in the treasurer's office, maybe being a little bit short-staffed. But this one obviously is going to take additional staff members to be able to do this. Although I think it's a great program, it's going to help our residents, but I just want to make sure that that's covered. That's one. Two, the ARPA funds, and I went to the one program that the city put on, by the ARPA representatives, or at least the subcontractors. And as far as I know, Mariana, unless I'm wrong, as far as I know, nothing's been allocated other than the $2 million. So to commit to the 15,000 without committing to anything else, that's something that was a little bit, I just want to get it clarified, because we're not ready to commit any additional ARPA funds other than the $2 million that we've already approved a few council meetings ago.
Thank you, Council Chair. So to address your first question, as you know, the MyHack program was approved by the council body previously, which we greatly appreciate. And that's a program that will help Dearborn Heights residents up to $25,000 per household. The program administrator is Mishta. With that being said, we actually just completed our training with them last week, and we trained 4 staff members. So we're actually building not just one program administrator, but we have the backup, to that as well. So you have 4 different Treasury staff members that are doing the program and have been trained to do the program. The reason we're looking at the agreement with BLM that we're seeking your support is because they can offer us additional support, especially when funds start coming in, applying those, creating the reporting mechanism, as well as public education, which is a big component that we need to do outreach to the community to be aware of these programs. And this is not just for my half, but the other one that you just approved for the low-income household water assistance program. So we've built all these things into that, and of course it's capped at no more than $15,000. This was a recommendation made through our meetings when BLN met with all the department heads and said, what can we do or what do you need? And they actually made that recommendation for my half and for LIWAP. And that's why we brought it forward to you today. And my understanding is we do have administration support for this item.
Okay.
So that's the first piece, and I think that's both of your questions answered.
Okay, and I'm gonna check with Mariana in regards to the, do you understand my second question in regards to 15,000?
Yes,
Okay.
and no, you have approved 2 items. Well, if you approve this one, this would be your second item
Right.
for expenses from ARPA. So yes, you approved the $2.2 million last year during the budget season.
Right.
You approved the contract with BLN. So there's a percentage of ARPA funds that we can use for administrative fees. That's how we're paying BLN. So that's how we're paying our consultants that have been coming in here, and you approved that contract as well. We pay them by tax-oriented items. This would be one of those tasks that we're assigning to them in the amount not to exceed $15,000.
Okay.
So yes, this is going to be taking away from your ARPA funds, from your $24 million. It is an eligible expense because it is an administrative expense. But again, you will start seeing those dollars drop. You're already paying them for all of the surveys that they did and the public hearings. Now we're going to be paying them to do work with the treasurer's office. This is just part of allocating those responsibilities to our consultants and making sure that we're offering the best service to our residents. So do we need MyHave and LIHWAP programs? 100%. The residents deserve it. And if the treasurer needs help doing it, then we have to give it to her, because this is simply a service of limited funds that the county and MISHDA are offering to our residents. So it's not going to be a permanent program. This is also ARPA funds that have been allocated for this program to assist our residents.
So you kind of answered my question, so it's not a yearly thing, it's a one and done.
We're all going to run out of ARPA funds eventually.
Right, okay. Councilman, you had a question?
Quickly, it's brilliant. And when Governor Snyder became governor, he started zero balance budgeting, because a lot of times there was money budgeted to a department of the state that never got used. That is a brilliant use of the ARPA money. That's it.
And Mariana, thank you. I actually like the way you just said that right now, and really reaching out a hand, and if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. I appreciate that, and that step of that leadership that you just took. I appreciate that lead.
Council Chair?
Councilwoman, go ahead.
Mariana, do we have the results from that survey at this point?
They will be presented on the 21st. We already have a scheduled study session for that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mariana. So, with no other questions, I presume, all in favor, please state aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Next item on the agenda is item D, CEDD Director Jamal.
Council Chair.
Councilman Muscat.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the City of Dearborn Heights 10% commitment of local match up to 5% from the water and sewer and up to 5% from CDBG funds for the homes located in low moderate areas for the FEMA, Michigan State Police, and HMGP 4547 March 2021 application to acquire and demolish 15 primary and 9 alternative homes affected by the continuous flooding along the Ecorse Creek and the Courier and Hanover streets on a voluntary basis. The total estimated March 2021 grant application is $2,951,250, and local match is $295,125. Final amounts will be determined pending on the final award of the grants by FEMA and Michigan State Police. At such time, the awards will be presented by detailed resolution indicating the required mandated financial budgetary process to the mayor and council for acceptance and approval as outlined in 9B.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Muscat, seconded by Councilman Baidoon. Any discussion on that? I had a question for the CEDD Director. First of all, I'd like to commend our CEDD Director Jamal for helping coordinate this and helping to continue to bring in much-needed grants into the city. Of course, administration is very involved with this too, and the mayor, so I appreciate that. I just want to clarify something. The difference between 15 primary and then most specifically, what exactly is an alternative home? Or maybe Chief of Staff is here. He's not online. He's not online, so if you don't mind. He is?
But if they back out, then you go to the alternatives.
Okay, so it's just a second list in case the first ones didn't take it.
Yeah,
But the first list,
sometimes you have that. So whoever submitted for the applications, sometimes you have somebody that backs out, says, nope, I don't want to.
or they don't agree on the price.
Yeah.
I did see that a few years back, I remember. Okay, and just for those, I'm very somewhat familiar with this particular program that they've had administrations on this. Just to clarify for some of the residents, because I've had this asked for me, by me. It is a volunteer program. The city's not gonna come in and make you tear down your house or tear down the house for you. This is a volunteer program, and if somebody's still interested, I'm not sure, Chief Staff, are we still taking applications for the future, I presume, with CEDD?
We do.
Yes.
We do. We just put him on the list. Oh, he's on?
He's on, he was.
Can't
Go ahead,
take away
Director.
his thunder.
I'm just giving you the short version.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Director
Give us
Jamal.
the short version.
Okay, the first question is, this is a standard approval by the legislature to acknowledge the 10%, which is down from 25%. And possibility that in the low area, that we can use some of this CDBG, depends on when they got awarded the allocation. The second question is, at this time, no, we are not taking any application over the 40 applications that we already have, but future application will be open in October this year. Then we start taking a future application, voluntary application for the new grants, which will be starting probably around end of October of this year.
Okay, thank you, Director. And this is all a part of the master plan between the Director and the administration to continue to work on the Ecorse Creek and bring the much needed help for that particular area. So thank you, everyone that's working on this, and thank you, Director.
I don't know what you mean by master plan.
Well, not the master, not per se master plan, the big plan to continue to work on Ecorse Creek.
Yeah, we do have another grant coming from CDBG Disaster Relief by the United States President. So we are working with the NEDC, the state of Michigan. You and others attended that meeting.
Correct.
At the south end. And there are other county ARPA money being designated there, $10 million for the 9 communities. So the county will put money to clean or restore the waterway over there. Then there are also another one going on right now with scoping that Waitrim and BARED handling the engineering for it to do a study to see if we can create small to medium detention along the 5 miles in Dearborn Heights to absorb some of the water. That's one. And the other one is to study how we can relieve the storm water in the city, south and north end. Those are already in process. Hopefully within 6 months, we'll see something coming, in and we start the study. So yes, Council Chair, there are multiple programming, and we are gonna see the results sooner than later.
Thank you.
And I want to make sure that everybody understand that the Eco-Street Commission is updated on a regular basis, and they are excited, and they already invited somebody to come also, from the Rouge River Committee, and they are going to put some money in Eco-Street also. So, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director. All right, motion made by Councilman Baidoon and.
No, Councilman Muscat.
I'm sorry, Councilman Muscat, seconded by Councilman Baidoon. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is item E, CEDD, Director Jamal, FEMA, MSP, HMGP, acquisition and demolition.
Council Chair,
Councilman, go ahead.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the 10% commitment for local match, up to 5% of the water and sewer, which is a cost, and up to the 5% from the Community Block Grant Development Fund for homes located in low to moderate areas for the FEMA, Michigan State Police, HMGP 4494, thank you. October 2021 applications to acquire and demolish 20 primary and 5 alternative homes affected by the new continuous flooding along the Eagles Creek and on Courier Streets in the south end, Hanover Streets, on a voluntary basis. This will be a great aid to the homeowner. The total estimated 2021 grant application is $3,935,000, and the local match is $393,500. Final amounts will be determined pending the final award of the grants by FEMA and the Michigan State Police. At such time, the awards will be presented by detailed resolution, including the required mandatory financial budgetary process to the mayor and council for acceptance and approval as outlined in 9E.
Support. Motion made by Councilman Constance, supported by Councilman Muscat. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye. Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Congratulations again. Next item on the agenda is letter F, Parks and Recreation Director Lawrence.
Council Chair.
Councilman, go ahead.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the disposal of the following items at the Richard A. Young Center, Recreation Center, 5400 McKinley Street. You want to read all of these? 2 chair climbers, 4 old 5-foot banquet tables, 1 green fabric desk chair, 2 broken soccer nets with the frames, 1 old couch, 1 broken table cart, 15 blue plastic folding chairs, 6 green gold frame banquet chairs, 1 black desk chairs, 1 exercise bike, and that's it, Council Chair, as outlined in 9F.
Support.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Baydun and supported by Ahmad. Any discussion on that?
I wanted to sing this as I was saying.
I know, I was gonna say it.
Then I stopped myself, I realized.
All right. First day of Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Council Chair, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Have we looked at potentially trying to donate any of these? And I know I usually ask this question, and the response is always yes. That's just my question. I'm sure nobody wants to see the old exercise bike, I think I seen that. But, you know, I still just want to make sure, maybe one of these chairs.
Yes, we have, and most of it's all broken to the point where you really can't even use it.
Okay.
Thank
Stay
you.
right there.
So, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is letter G, Parks and Rec, Director Lawrence Health.
Council Chair.
This one's gonna be with Councilwoman Breyer, go ahead.
I make the motion that the Dearborn Heights City Council approves the disposal of the following items at the Eaton Senior Recreation Center, 4900 Party Street. A table saw 1 from the upholstery room. It's property of Dearborn Heights 05424, model number 113.24331, serial number 2169.P as in Paul 0165, and 1 saw from the upholstery room, property of Dearborn Heights 05426, model number 113.207600, serial number 90003, P as in Paul 0428, as outlined in 9G.
Support.
Okay, motion made by Councilwoman Breyer, supported by Baydun. Any
Council Chair.
discussions? Go ahead, Councilman.
I hate to see tools get thrown. Are you sure they're not repairable?
Well, the
Because when you get
tools,
the machines, I don't think there's such a thing as unrepairable.
what we've done with the tools is we basically went to everybody, like DPW, we had them check that out and see if they could use it and things like that. They had said that they are not, so once we get the release that we can give them away or donate them, we're going to do that. So, at least for the 2 saws. They used to be saws that they were used years ago when they had woodworking, and they haven't had woodworking in years.
Council Chair,
Councilman, go ahead.
couldn't we put that in the city garage sale, citywide garage sale, something like that?
Yeah, we probably could do that. However, the one table saw, the table that it's on is very, 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 very heavy. And
Cast iron.
it's going to be hard to move.
that's-
But yes,
that's
that's a
good.
possibility. We can do that too.
That means it's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Cast iron table saw is hard to come by.
Okay.
Well, it's like this thick of wood on the top.
Councilman Constant, go ahead.
Where is that table saw now?
It's at Eaton in the upholstery room. One of them's in the upholstery room, the other one's in the storage room.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Any
This is
opposed?
hard for me to say no, but I'll say yes.
Okay, motion carried.
Man, I
bring
hate
it to
seeing
your
machines
house.
go by.
Next item on the agenda, Parks and Recreation Director Lawrence L. allotment for District 7 Dads Club programs.
Council Chair.
Councilman Wenzel?
That was Councilman Ahmad, but.
Oh, then we'll give this one
You can-
Councilman
you can-
Constant, if that's the case. I'm trying to keep this even. Go ahead, Councilman Constant, go ahead.
I move that the Dearborn
City
Heights.
Council approve the disperse of the following allotment of money for the following groups. District 7 Dads Baseball Softball Program, $2,520. And District 7 Dads Club Youth Football Program, $2,075. For a total of $4,595 as outlined in 9H.
Support.
Okay, motion made by Councilman Constant, supported by Councilman Muscat. Any discussion on this? I had a question for the director. Is this And I believe the answer is yes, but is this the one where it's for the Washington Redskins?
No, this is actually for the District 7 Dads Club. I have not received the information from either of the football groups yet. Once I do that, I can put that on the agenda for their allotments. I'm also waiting for the one for Dearborn Heights Soccer and the Baseball League. There are monies allocated for that, so I'm just waiting for the documents from the groups. And then we're going to come to the council to get those approved as well.
Okay, and even though we're not there yet, but just for my own public 2 cents worth, I'm just going to say, I hope we go in a direction of possibly changing the name, not possibly, changing the name. I really believe the name Redskins, as I've gotten more and more educated on it, I've found out that it is not something good for us to have, and I hope we continue to go in that direction.
Council Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Just ask us for refraining any comments about the name right now. I mean, it is a school board issue. I've looked into it a little bit.
No, we're not talking about, this one's not the school.
No, I think the
They
team,
decide, the Redskins would
the
have to
name,
decide.
so I would just not make any comments on it.
Okay, just want to say my opinion, no, but okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, so all in favor, please state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is temporary food truck tent cart license application.
Council Chair,
Councilman Muscat?
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the temporary food truck tent cart license application for the, I can't pronounce that if anybody, what is it?
The gentleman's here.
Of Dearborn Heights is outlined in 13A.
Support. Okay, motion made by Councilman Muscat, supported by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion on that?
Council Chair, go ahead.
Okay, I know the gentleman's here, so if you don't mind.
For Sukhothai?
Yeah, come on up.
I wasn't planning to have anything to say, I'm just here.
No, but just in case they have questions directly to you.
What was that again?
Just in case they had questions directly to you. So for those that are not familiar, this is a restaurant, currently it's a restaurant like brick and mortar on Ford Road with great food. But go ahead. Who had the first question?
Council Chair.
Go ahead.
Introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Tofik Almoesh, I represent the family from Sukhothai, and
Are you a pharmacist by trade?
no, I'm not a
You
pharmacist.
work at a pharmacy by chance?
No, I wish, actually.
Well, somebody reached out to me recently, one of my buddies, and they said, he's gonna try it, it's got great food, about Sammy Husseini, not sure?
No,
Okay,
but anyways, welcome to the restaurant anytime.
we're excited. What kind of food is it?
It's Thai food.
All right, halal 100%?
Halal 100%.
Wow.
Council Chair.
Okay.
Thank
So
you
who
for
had a question?
coming.
Councilman, go ahead.
I thought your name was Jewish.
Yeah,
Hassan?
No, my easiest name, I told you just now, it's Fix. That's what my mother calls me.
He's
yeah.
fixed.
Yeah,
But I heard wrong.
yeah, probably.
I apologize. It's serious.
No worries.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussions on this?
Yes, I'm
Go
just
ahead.
one more question. You said you have a brick and mortar, where's it at?
It's right down Ford Road.
Ford and Gullies?
Gullies.
Oh,
The old high grades.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Okay, yeah, I've had it. I picked up a couple
Donnie's
times.
old restaurant.
Yeah, it's
Good.
good.
I got
Council
to
Chair?
get a lot of food.
Yeah. You guys, are you having a tent or are you having a
Yeah,
truck
we're gonna have a tent.
in the parking lot?
Yes, it's
Okay.
going to be in the parking lot. Any further questions?
Is it just the same food?
No, we're serving Korean barbecue actually during Ramadan.
Oh, nice.
Well, nice.
Chair.
Nice. Okay.
One question. Your first name, when are you going to have the tent? At the beginning, on the first day of or through Ramadan?
So now that it's approved, I'm trying to get it ready.
Well, it's not approved yet.
Oh, I thought that you said it was approved. Anyways, in 3 days, if possible. Yeah.
So I'm starting on the 23rd?
23rd,
And
yes, sir.
every night or just
Every night.
at the old high grades?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering what the
Okay.
type, thank you for coming.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for the gentleman?
Hey,
Hearing
good
none.
luck. I'll come
All in
up
favor,
and
please
see
state aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Approved. Now, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next up is members of the public. Let's start with council members. Now, for all council members, let's try to keep this within 2 to 4 minutes, please, if we can.
You want to start from one end of the table?
It's just whoever calls first, I'll
Council Chair.
call on him. Councilman, go ahead.
Mike's got an announcement.
He goes first.
Don't they go first?
No, we.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. Councilman first.
As I travel through the city, I see some businesses, and I'm not going to call them out, that are not adhering to their plan, that how they were designed to do. They're disturbing the citizens.
And I'm going to keep a watchful eye when I see it. I'll be calling the ordinance department and the building engineering department. We have certain businesses that continuously do this. I don't know what the process is of revoking a business license, but it gets to the point where people, the neighbors can't tolerate it anymore. So I just want to make that a comment that I'm watching. And I thank everybody for being here tonight and being as professional as possible. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate one of our own, Sergeant Swerpel's son, Jake.
Yes.
Just made All-American, so I want to congratulate him. That's great news for somebody within our city, so congratulations. He's in wrestling, and he's out of Crestwood.
Yep, Council Chair. Thank you so much, and I know our next regular city council meeting many of us on here will be fasting and we'll be embarking on the holy month of Ramadan is coming up. And so just keep in mind that, a lot of your Muslim brothers and sisters, friends or neighbors will be, fasting and not being able to eat, drink. I know the first couple of weeks or first couple of days are extremely difficult. I can attest to this. I know some of our Dearborn Heights firefighters have also fasted and really just to realize and get the feeling of what Ramadan is. And it's truly a beautiful time. It's a time where, you remember forgiveness. It's a time of giving. It's not just about fasting and not eating. It's about your behavior. It's about the self-discipline that you're able to restrain yourself from, being upset or being annoyed. And it's how do you react? And really, it reminds us all that it's, those who are the less fortunate that don't have the opportunity to eat and drink as much across the globe, remind yourself to stay humble. And so for those who will be embarking on this journey and who will be either starting to fast for the first time or who will be continuing to fast during this month, I congratulate you guys, and I hope that everybody's able to do this with patience and respect and love and happiness. So thank you, Council Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council Chair. First, I have an announcement that for the Tax Appeal Board days, they're going to be next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So if somebody's looking to appeal their taxes, make sure to call the assessor's office and schedule an appointment. Also, I would like to wish everybody who observed Ramadan a happy and blessed Ramadan. And I know Friday it's St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day to whoever celebrates. And finally, I know March it's Women's History Month. So I stand humble in front of all the contribution that women gave to this country, and especially the women in our city. I do thank you for all you do. And thank you very much, Council Chair.
Thank you. Any other council members with comments?
Council Chair?
Councilman, go ahead.
I know we talked about these utility poles being stored on the easements in front of people's houses. Did we ever come up with a solution, like a 60-day mandatory use, or get rid of, or we cut them up?
I know the mayor was working on, Chief, actually, Mr. Deep, maybe if you don't mind, I know the mayor was working on something on that at one point.
It's kind of getting out of hand now. There's some in my neighborhood that have been there for a year.
Yeah, so the mayor sent the 30-day notice to DTE, and the DTE representative, the government VP, contacted us back and said, as far as she's concerned, there are no DTE poles left. However, she told me where to look, and I found two. So they do exist. They're not tagged on the pole itself. It's the bottom of the pole, and then they have a special tag on the bottom. So if you look on the bottom of this thing, and I found them. So I sent her back a notifications. That was right before the storm. She hasn't gotten back with me, but they do exist. Unfortunately, she's wrong.
Okay. Is DTE the only ones doing this?
No, there are others. So the ones without the DTE tag are not DTEs, so they belong to either the 5G network, like Horizon is going through, or others that just don't have a tag on them.
Is there anything in the works about limiting the time they stay on the ground, like
Yeah,
60 days?
what we're looking for is what I told her, the DTE lady, is that we are going to go back to the mayor's original deadline, and if they're not there within like 30 days from after the storm, obviously, we're just going to claim them.
Yeah, because, you give them any length of time, they're there all summer. You give them 90 days, that's the
I
entire
know,
summer.
I know.
30 days, they drop them off, you should put them in the ground within 30 days.
So DTE is a large organization, and what she's saying is that the pole people, the pole replacement people, utilize contractors. And a lot of times, these contractors don't report back accurately. So, but it isn't just, DTE. But I told her, as far as we're concerned, DTE's poles belong to you. So if you don't want to lose a $30,000 pole, that's what they cost, by the way. They're expensive. We're just going to, take them.
I know they just dropped one off.
One more.
Hass and
Yes.
Charlesworth, and this thing's got to be about 65 feet long.
They just dropped it, right?
Yeah, well, it was a couple of weeks ago. It's about 65 feet long.
That's 5G.
I'm telling you, it's a
5G.
huge
Is it wood comes
wood
with?
pole, yes.
It has a red label on it.
65 feet.
I got a picture of
It's
it.
a big tree.
I'll show you the
Okay,
the
no, I believe
picture.
you.
And I was told about it by a resident,
That's an expensive.
bike rider and walker.
Okay.
And she sent it to me, and I went over there and I took it, I stepped it off, and my God.
Did you
biggest
notice
pole
the
I've ever
tag?
seen.
By any chance, did you notice the tag?
Yes, I got a picture of it.
On the bottom, yellow?
I have a picture of it.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
let's
I'll take
move
a
on
look
to
at
the
it.
next one.
Okay,
sir.
this question's for the mayor. Did you,
He's gone.
Not here.
oh, okay. I was
Yeah, I'm
wondering
sure
if
he's going back,
any
so.
action was taken against city employees in that outburst we had at our last meeting, but does anybody know if there's any action taken against the city employees that were involved in that profane outburst we had at our last meeting?
City employees.
Okay, I guess not. And, I'm always,
I'm not pursuing charges against the judge, so,
Okay.
You don't have to speak.
Nothing from the audience, please.
Please, please.
you're not a city employee. You're safe.
Okay.
I always speak about families. We're going to plan on doing a lot of family activities this year. Hopefully, we work with the Parks and Recreation Department. They plan on doing some stuff too. So look forward to a lot of family activities, special things that haven't been done before. And Dad's Club, D7 District 7 Dad's Club, taking baseball signups, go on their website. They have baseball and softball programs from kids from 5 years old, 18 years old, and also adult leagues. And I want to mention the founders, just so the families are listening. Dad's Club, Pete Stevens, the original founder, Unc Harris, original founder of Dad's Club, Gordon Lambie, and Ed Roding. A lot of these people's families are still in the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other council members with announcements?
Yes.
Announcements or comments?
Well,
She
comments
has a
first.
Announcement.
I'm at announcements.
Okay, let's go ahead and go
I got
to
two comments.
announcements. Any announcements from council members or administration?
Go ahead,
Councilwoman.
Nancy.
Those are comments.
I'm trying to get her.
Oh, okay.
I have something to
Let's
say.
start with Treasurer Lisa Explain. Go ahead.
Hello, good evening, honorable council members, honorable mayor, and honorable Madam Clerk and the residents of Dearborn Heights. I wanted to share a real quick announcement. First of all, thank you, council members, for approving the low-income household water assistance program and my half from the previous council meeting. It is truly about helping all of our residents. And what we wanted to announce is that your Dearborn Heights Treasurer's Office is partnering with Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree to bring forward a resource fair on Monday, March the 27th, from 5 to 8 p.m. in City Council Chambers. That's 6045 Fenton, Dearborn Heights 48127. We are going to have, of course, Wayne County Treasurer's Office there to talk about home foreclosure prevention and how to enter a payment plan, as pay as you stay, and to help folks with their delinquent taxes. And also we'll have folks from Wayne Metropolitan with us to help people process their applications. It was actually hands-on doing connecting the dots for people so they can apply for that. And again, that's up to $25,000 in support with delinquent taxes as well as water and sewage. And you've seen the long list of things that are eligible. And then with Live Walk, we'll also have support there where people can apply. And that's up to $1,500. And that program runs until September 30th of 2023. So it's a smaller window than the rest. But again, that is utilizing ARPA funds to help our residents when they most need it. We will also have members from DTE there to help with payment plans for people. So again, it's just a wonderful resource fair to support our residents. We want to encourage everybody, not even just our residents, if you're from Redford, if you want to come out and apply for my path or Live Walk, please do. We have everybody there to help you process your application, because sometimes navigating that is half the challenge. So again, that's Monday, March the 27th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at the City Hall on 6045 Fenton. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer. Director Conrad, go ahead.
Good evening, City Council. I'd like to make an announcement to the residents. I know there's some frustration amongst the residents regarding getting the tree debris pickup from the last two storms. So we have made arrangements with Priority Waste this Saturday to run the entire city and pick up any tree debris that is in the right-of-way between the curb and the sidewalk. All debris needs to be cut to 5-foot lengths and be no greater than 6 feet or 6 inches in diameter. And they will be picking up and disposing of that. Anything they can't fit in a truck because of its size, they will make notes of it and let us know, and the DPW crews will then come back in the following week and try to and cut up and pick up that debris. So our attempt is to, get all the debris picked up this weekend if possible, but anything that will be left, we'll have to get the following week. So anything that's not at the curb by this Saturday, residents will have to wait till the annual pickup for yard waste begins on the 3rd. And again, this is for any debris in your yard, whether it's from a tree in the right-of-way or whether it's from, branches or trees that fell in your yard, and you need to just get rid of the greens. We understand that yard waste doesn't start till April 3rd, so we've been trying to pick these items up during our regular work, but with snowstorms, potholes, and all the other work we have to do, we're not being as efficient as we'd like, and we think the debris's been out too long. So Priority Waste is gonna help us get all this debris off the street this weekend.
Okay, thank you, Director.
Council Chair?
Councilman, go ahead.
Well, we've got the director on the line there. I'm going to tell him congratulations to him and his crew for the great job they did during this past storm. I mean, I know they couldn't get everything, but you got the streets cleared and most of it taken care of. They worked all the overtime hours. My hat's off to the whole crew. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Director.
Very much. I'll pass that along to them.
Yeah, thank you, Director and DPW. All right, next up is announcements from administration. If you don't mind, Director, Councilwoman, I was going to have her go first.
Sure.
Okay, we have on, let me make sure I've got the right dates because it's a long month here. On the 22nd at 6 p.m. at 3335 South Beach Daily, the admin building for Westwood Community Schools, we do have our Ecorse Creek Commission meeting. You're all welcome to come at 6 p.m. We update as far as we know what's going on. The following evening, which would be the 23rd, 7 o'clock, same location, will be the South Dearborn Heights Civic Association, and anyone is welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I'm going to have Director go ahead, and then Councilman Muscat had a...
Councils.
Constant, I'm sorry, Constant.
Hello, Council Chair and Mayor. Just want to talk about a couple of things. First off, Thursday, March 30th from 10 to 8, Friday, March 31st from 10 to 4, and Saturday, April 1st from 10 to 4. The Friends of the Library will be having their book sale at Carrollton County Library. There have been lots of materials stored up through the months, which our friends have been busily sorting, and some literary treasures await. So come on out and get some good deals. Also, this month is National Reading Month. We have tin can raffles at both libraries. So come on out and check out a book and pick up a gift card. Or we have some gift baskets, and we also have a customized, handmade St. Patrick's Day themed lamp that I made. So that's also up for drawing. So come on out and check out a book. Thanks for your time, and see you at the library.
Thank you, Director. Appreciate it. I know Councilman Constant, go ahead.
I'll try to be brief. Thank you, Council Chair. And thank you, Councilman Mobe Doon, for your comments about Ramadan, and Councilman Ahmad. I just want to comment that the use of the old high-grade restaurant, when I lived in the North End, I used to eat breakfast there every day because I was the court officer in Livonia. The young man who owns the business now, Johnny, is often at these meetings, but the three brothers, they still live in Dearborn Heights. I think the one passed away. And so you're welcome. It's a great use of that building, and I know you've had it in the works for a while. You know, and I'm trying to train myself. It's hard. As lawyers, we always want to, you know, our city attorney will confess that, but Your Honor, you know, because we're, well, these days of Zoom, we just need to keep our mouth closed, and I need to keep my mouth closed more. There's an old saying, with some things are left better unsaid. With Robert Constant, everything is left better unsaid. And then having said that, I want to also mention that this Saturday, March 25th, is Greek Independence Day. It's the day Greece became independent from the Ottoman Empire. They fought just as the Lebanese did and as the Syrians did. That's this Friday, March 25th, which also happens to be my birthday. Thank you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Okay, thank you, Councilman. Any other administrative announcements? Seeing none, next up is public comments. Come on up, whoever's next. Please state your name, city, and street.
1 second.
I'm sorry, wait 1 second, let me just get the time started. But please, as I mentioned to everyone, just keep it professional, please. Thank you.
Yeah, 1 second.
Hassan Ayun, public activist, Dearborn.
Wait 1 second.
3
just so
minutes.
You get your 3 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hey, Tom, I just wanted to ask that, Tom.
Wait, I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
right.
Everything's got to go through the council
All
first.
right.
So even if you're talking to somebody else,
okay.
go through the chair.
I want to ask Tom, do you live in Dearborn Heights?
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell me your full name, please, on the record?
Thomas Glenn Wenzel.
What year were you born?
January 21st, 1957.
Stop the time, I'd like to approach.
Okay, anything that's going to be passed on has got to go through the clerk. But now keep in mind, anything you pass to the clerk will become record and will go on the minutes.
I want it to become record.
Okay. Now, for Councilman Wenzel, obviously needless to say, you don't need to answer, so it's up to you. It's at your discretion.
Best not to answer.
Nothing to hide. Is this for me?
For everybody. Pass it down, then when you, then run that time. I'm waiting for them. All of them, just pass them down. Each take one. There's two copies of two different things. There's this copy,
Okay.
and there's this copy.
Don't give them too much time.
There's 8 copies, 9 copies.
Okay, go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well,
The
somebody doesn't
attorney
get
gets one too.
I'll give him one. I'll give him this
Okay.
at the end. Do you have a house in Allen Park? Answer my question.
No. No?
Wait,
I can't hear you. What you said? Did
city
you
attorney.
have a?
I'm about to speak.
Hold on, sir.
okay, your time will stop. 1 second.
I will advise Mr. Wenzel, he does not give out any
And I gave him that option, he said he'd answer, it's up to him. Yeah, I told him you don't have to answer, it's up to you.
I'd say no, I don't have a house in.
Okay, you don't have a house in what's it called? Well, over here, it says Tom G. Winslow, this page right here. It says you're born, you said June, oh no, you said January 1957, 66 years old.
This isn't a.
Yeah, don't give out personal information.
Okay. Well, excuse me, I wasn't talking to you. Don't interrupt me.
Okay.
Don't interrupt me. You're the one that's always gonna interrupt.
Okay.
You see how this all
I understand. Okay, 1 second.
When I sit there,
1 second.
I was with the gentleman. I investigated every single one of these people. I ran, what's it called? Records about everybody, where they live, what they do. That's my job as a public actor.
Okay,
What you do is
talk to the council chair,
what's it called?
and in the
Please,
audience, please, no comments from the audience, please.
I need more time because she interrupted me, please.
Right.
No,
Okay, 1 second.
Council Chair.
Okay, Councilman, please.
Any disclosure of private information of any members, I'm going to object to, that's stopped. Obviously, it will hold up this video or the audio or as we investigate. But I would advise Mr. Wensley does not have to answer any of these questions. There are other forums which the advocate standing at the podium can get this information or present it, but not in a comment section.
This is public information on the website, on Google.
You were talking about possibility of that may involve legal action, and I'm advising
I'm
that
asking
this
him
not
to
be
resign
discussed here.
because he don't live in Dearborn Heights.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second, Mr. Owen, wait, guys,
And you
guys.
file a formal complaint.
1 second, 1
of
second.
such.
Mr. Owen, your time has not stopped, I'm sorry, has stopped. Can you allow our corporation counsel to give advice to the council members and whoever else that he wants to comment to? Go ahead.
And I would raise an objection to this document. It hasn't been redacted or anything of that nature, and it contains private information.
I got it under a FOIA
Of
request.
personal nature, which I would
Wait,
not,
Councilman, 1 second.
I would admit
Council
it.
Chair?
I would publish it to the clerk, subject to review by our office, legal office, to determine what's admissible and not.
Okay, so do not publish it until you check with corporation counsel.
This gentleman handed that to us, and I handed it to our city attorney.
Right, he has it. Okay. Councilman, 1 second, sir. Go ahead. Because I gave you the opportunity to say you don't want to answer.
Yeah, about the residents in Allen Park.
We can't-
Wait a minute, okay, don't worry about it.
Okay.
That is my son, Tom Winslow Jr.'s home.
It's the same name, it's Tom Wenzel Jr.
Okay, Councilman, through the chair, please. Okay, so Councilman, I'm just giving you the opportunity. Obviously, he's asking you some personal questions. Obviously, the corporation council's recommending that you not answer them.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it at your discretion. But for you, Mr. Owen, nothing personal, please.
No, nothing personal.
Okay.
You changed your address in October to Allen Park. Am I correct?
No.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
So if,
pretty sure.
you should go check on True Search.
Well, like I said, I hate to disappoint you.
You know you're not disappointing
But
me.
that's my son's home.
Okay, what
Okay.
about the houses that you got all Homestead? How many houses do you own?
How many do I own?
All Homestead.
Okay, well, let's see, I own.
Again, Mr. Wensley, you don't have to
I
answer
know,
any
I
of these
do,
questions.
I own one home.
One home?
One home.
Oh, okay.
Council Chair?
So you're gonna tell me if I got more evidence, but I don't wanna provide it to you right now.
Go ahead.
The next city council meeting, I will.
Send it right
I
now.
will get the titles for the
Let's do
houses
it,
that
let's
you
do it
own.
right now and get it over with, please. Give me the evidence.
You got the evidence. 1967. 1957, eh? You see it?
Oh, that's not me.
Oh, that's not you? You said you were born in what's it called?
Can't believe everything. You can't believe everything I say.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Next up, come on up. City, street name,
You
please.
forgot your index cards.
Maybe Tom needs them.
I got some index cards.
Well, it's like you want it for your birthday?
I got some.
I mean, I'll use them. Leave some notes for some people. Rachel Lapointe, Merrick Street, Dearborn Heights. I think it was a month or a month and a half ago, the Warren Valley team was supposed to come and do a update and a presentation on how it's going to get the course reopened. Was that rescheduled yet or not?
There's nothing scheduled. I do know that they went to social media and to the media outlets. And as a matter of fact, I personally seen a long article on them. As a matter of fact, I think is that it? No, that's not it.
I think I
know
saw
it's in
a
the Press and
Press and
Guide and
Guide
Times Herald had a lot of
headline.
details on there.
Okay.
But
Was that essentially what they were doing?
They will be coming, prior to the opening day, and then giving us just a general outline. But everything seems to be going in the right direction.
Good. The article in the Press and Guide did look like it was going well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to know they're coming before then.
Right.
The road rating map that Mr. Deeb mentioned, I know residents could FOIA it, but it might be handy for something like that, or even a maybe more generalized version if it's really detailed, to put it on the city website so that residents can kind of get an idea, like if their street might be due for replacement, or maybe they've seen something that happened over the winter that deteriorated a street faster than what its rating might have been. I don't know how often they're updating those ratings. So it might be a helpful thing then if somebody goes and looks and says, oh, there's this giant new crater in my street. What's the rating on the city's website? What, they put a 10, it's now a 2, whatever it is. I think it might be helpful for people to see that. I was thinking during the bank account discussion, we can always reopen bank accounts if we want. If you guys decide to close them, we decide it didn't work, we can always reopen them. I think that's sometimes a good reminder that, hey, we can always kind of change things. It's not that big of a deal. And then I really appreciated your comments, Council Chair, about the Arskins team. I know that's been a very talked about discussion, especially in the South End since it's based there a little bit more. And I really appreciated that you said that. I think that the city should, I believe the CCRC submitted a resolution that would restrict the city from giving funds to any organization that is affiliated with either hate or has a name that is commonly recognized as a slur or something like that. And I really encourage you guys to put a little maybe pressure on, I don't know where it's stuck in things in the pipeline of getting it approved, but I think you guys should really get it on your agenda soon and start that discussion, because that's a really important one to have, and a lot of people, it really affects them. And we need to advocate for them. So thank you, and that's it.
Thank you, Council Chair. Yes, Councilman. That's the decision of, like, for D7, we named ourselves D7, and for that organization, that's the board member's decision, not the city's.
Right. Okay. Anybody else in the audience that would like to come on up, ma'am? City,
Yes.
street name, please.
Yes, my name's Marie Hunter. I live on Hanover in Dearborn Heights. I recently had an issue with trash pickup, and it was during the time when we had our power outage. So I really couldn't put my trash or my recycling out. But trash was picked up, and when I looked, there was, in fact, I have the bag here, a great amount of trash sitting in front of my house. So I contacted Priority, and I was told by someone that the reason I had trash on my property was that people who clean out their cars don't put their trash in the receptacles properly. That's what I was told. So I said, so I guess I have to go out and pick up this trash? And they said yes. So that's what I did. I have the bag here. That's not an acceptable response to trash being left behind. And right now, on my street alone, just driving here, there are still 5 receptacles sitting on the side of the road.
What street is that, if you don't mind me asking, you said?
Pardon?
Okay.
I'm sorry, Councilor, what street?
So here's, just for all the council members, I'd just like to remind you, during the public comments, we're going to allow the public to make their comment. George from the clerk's office is going to go ahead and relay the information to administration, and somebody will contact you from administration.
Okay, that would be great.
She said Hanover.
Hanover,
that's
yes,
what
I'm
I
on Hanover. So I I was really disappointed with priority. I mean, I take a great deal of pride in my home, and I don't like seeing trash just left out. I thought that as, people who, this is their business, if they would see the trash that was left behind, wouldn't they get out of their truck and pick it up? I've seen other companies do it. I'm at my daughter's house in White Lake on Monday, and their trash is picked up, and I see the guys get out and pick up the recycling and pick up the papers. So I was really disappointed in the way I was handled. And then the other thing was on when the electricity was still out. It just came back, I think, over the weekend, and on Monday, my street flooded again. So I had some damage at the back of my property where a limb had fallen. I had to have someone come out and help me to remove it. When I went back and took a look between my home and my neighbor's home, which is just east of me, there is a log that has come right across Ecorse Creek, and there is tons of branches and debris that is actually blocking the creek. So when we had that rain on Monday and our street flooded, I had the creek that had crested over the banks.
Okay. So if you don't mind, again, holding on. So if you don't mind, ma'am, if you could give your name, address, and phone number to George right there.
Yes.
And then she'll have somebody from administration go ahead and contact you and work in regards to your garbage situation, and then maybe Mr. Deeb will address the tree situation.
Okay, and with the receptacles that are left still from Friday, this is Tuesday, can we let the residents know that they're supposed to put their trash cans away that day? I mean, it looks terrible, I'm sorry.
I agree.
It's just not a pretty look, I'm sorry. But thank you for your time.
Thank you, Maria.
We're not going to go back. If you have something quick and brief. Yeah.
Well, the Friends of the Rouge and so forth tell us that the log jams are supposed to leave them, but that, I disagree. I'd be interested in what Ali Deeb or Mr. Conroy would say, but
okay,
that it doesn't impede the flow, and it actually, we should just leave them, and we've been cleaning out the creek for years. We always cut them up and remove them.
Okay.
Council Chair? Council Chair, I've seen a picture of this log jam, and I personally, I'll call our Wayne County Commissioner tonight and let him know about that and give him the address. And also trash cans coming down Fenton today off of Ford Road. I must have saw 10 houses where their garbage, it's not garbage day, but the garbage cans are sitting in front of their house or right on side, right in plain view of the street. And I think that's an ordinance violation, right here by City Hall.
Okay, thank you. Come on up, sir. Now, Mike, obviously, I know you work for the city, so are you speaking as a resident or as a city representative?
As an employee.
As an employee?
Yes.
Okay, give me just 1 second, is that okay? I mean, I don't know what he's gonna say, but.
No, this is just a correction about something on the agenda. On 9G, I don't know if this is going to make Councilman Muscat any happier or not, but the table saw that was on there for disposal is not a table saw, it's a bandsaw. So I just wanted to make that correction. So you know, that bandsaw, I've been here 29 years. That bandsaw was here years before me. Another DPW supervisor looked at the tools to see if DPW could use them, and they were deemed irreparable. But it's not a table saw, it's a bandsaw. I just want to make that correction.
Yeah, I just hate seeing machines go by. I really do.
No, it's a bandsaw. It's in really bad shape and parts are not available.
Okay.
So that's the correction on that.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks. Appreciate it. Anybody else in the audience that has a public comment? Come on up. Street, city, name. You have 3 minutes.
I actually asked for extra time.
Oh, I'm sorry. You did ask an extra minute. Yes, you did.
Extra minute?
There's extra. One second. Let him set it up.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hassan Saab, John Daly, Dearborn Heights. This question is the director of building online today, or?
Rick?
Speaking as a.
He was.
I'm sorry?
You must be deaf because I said Hassan Saab in my street address.
Gentleman is on the planning commission, So he's not an employee. of the city.
Employee, you got that mistake, and then I have no plans on stepping down.
1 second, Councilman, please, 1 second. Rick Watland, why don't you do this? Ask whatever questions, then we'll see if Rick Watland's on meanwhile.
Eric Watland is on. Director
Is he
Watland.
on?
He's on.
I'm asking Rick
Wait,
about,
hold on 1 second. I don't, do you see him? I don't see him. I don't see him. Okay, well, if somebody's online, or somebody, Mr. Deep, if you could text him and get on, if you don't mind, please. Okay, go ahead. Well, he may not get on in time, but we'll try.
is the assessor online?
The assessor, I don't believe she's online, no.
Aren't they supposed to be all directors?
Not the
The
assessor.
assessor's not a director.
Okay. Somebody directs that
It's a
department.
company that we hired.
Okay.
But it's not his time.
So I'm up here asking Mr. Winsall here about his permits on his property, his addition he did. How many times and what permits are expired and the lapses they had, and how many violations he's had, and were these violations corrected with proper inspections? That's why I need Mr. Wetland here.
Okay, one second.
I'm sorry?
Restate the question, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about Mr. Tom Winsall's construction project he's been working on for 3 years. If you want to answer it.
Okay, Councilman, as you said earlier, you don't have to answer, it's up to you.
I mean, you tell me.
Well, I see there's plenty of issues here. You've had multiple violations. Were they ever corrected? Was there re-inspections? I FOIA'd all this information. I don't see it. Sees your permits here are lapsed. Some of them are expired. What gives you special treatment in the city to work without permits and without inspections?
I've got my permits updated.
When?
Again, Mr. Wenzel.
Yesterday.
Yes, correct. But how long they expired for? You were still working.
Doesn't matter.
Was there a pre-drywall inspection done?
Mr. Wenzel, you have the right
There
not
was?
to answer.
There was. Where is it? I don't see it. Who went out there and gave it to you?
Ali, Rick, Watland.
I need Rick, as a resident, I have issues I need to answer. And the directors are supposed to be at the meeting. Can anybody reach out to him? I need him to log in.
Keep digging, okay?
No, I'm not digging.
You are.
No, it's not.
Keep digging.
You can't use your position in the city to get away with things. Unfortunately, one of your neighbors called me, told me about the garbage around your house.
I'm going to object to, again, to attack, the personal attack.
This is not personal.
Council Chair.
Okay.
It's this.
If you'd like, you can send the email to the
No, I want
Corporation
this,
Council.
I want this put on the record, because if I'm gonna do an addition or build a house, just like anybody else, the proper procedures need to be done. If your permit's expired, you should not be working. I mean, I FOIA'd this information. I did not obtain this out of the blue. This was signed as a FOIA, and this is public information. His project's been going on for almost 3 years. That's absurd.
It's been over 3 years.
Yeah, it's absurd, because the city came after me after 7 months.
Council Chair,
And
I
then
just want
why
to make a
is this-
statement. My permits expire and I renew them. I pay up the butt for that every time.
How long were they lapsed for? That's the question I asked.
Doesn't matter how long they
It
lapsed,
does
they're
matter.
paid
You
up.
can't be working without permits.
I wasn't working on it.
You post everything on Facebook.
Yeah. What did I
So
do?
I'm asking, did you have a pre-inspection agreement, an installation, pre-inspection for installation for drywall? Were your violations? You had header issues. Did you get those inspected?
Yes.
You did? By who? There's no comments on here, only disapprovals. There was no reapproves. There was no approved information coming back. Is this house safe that he's building? I mean, the city has an obligation.
Don't talk to me, talk to.
Well, that's, I'm trying to get answers.
Well,
Then my
but even-
other
but even
question
if
is
he was
to the-
online, I'm not sure if
and-
he's gonna be
And
able to
then my
answer him
other
on the
question
spot.
is to the assessor. His house, which I FOIA'd the assessment, why is his house taxes, if they're uncapped at the house he's building, why are his taxes only less than $3,000?
I've been reassessed. It's a lot more than that now.
I'm sorry? Yes, you were assessed with no bedrooms.
No bedroom.
No bedrooms, sir. This is directly from the city's assessor's
Where did you get
office. Assessor's office, under a FOIA. It's right here.
Well, I just got reassessed. I paid over $4,000.
Oh, do you? It does not show that.
Well, talk to the assessor.
Oh, I
Talking to the
will.
wrong person.
Okay. We're gonna make sure.
I could get you a better shovel, because you dig and you can't find anything.
Oh, it's not digging. It's clear as evident as day. You're trying to get away with things.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Excuse me, sir, don't interrupt me, please.
Cut them off.
It's kind of a coincidence, none of the directors are here. I need these questions answered.
Okay, well, you're welcome to send the email to administration / the corporation attorney, and I'm sure if it's within your right.
To the corporate counsel, this question's to you directly, sir. Can you work in a city with expired permits?
Of course, you can't, but I think that what you're actually asking for these directives, they don't have to be here, but if you put it in writing, we'll get you a formal response. I'm not going to get into any FOIA issues or anything of that nature, any personal business of the city council.
But I mean, him as a city council person, is he able to get away with things like this? Because me as a resident, to build my home, they hit me on a plastic fence, but he has garbage and everything around his property.
I have no personal knowledge of it, I cannot comment on that, so.
Okay. So nobody can comment about his assessment or about his expired permits that he was working on the city?
What do you have against orphan children?
I'm sorry?
What do you have against orphan children?
I do not have nothing against orphan children. I'm making sure the
Attacks
house
on
they
me
live
or
in is
attacks on my
safe.
family?
No, I'm making sure the house is safe.
Yeah.
And with my background and profession, I'm trying to ask you if the house is safe. If you're doing this without inspection, there was
It's safe.
major violations given that were not re-inspected. It's a serious issue.
Yeah, time up, good. Thank you.
Okay. We'll get them answered.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else in the audience?
Good try.
That would like to do a public comment? All right, hearing none. Anybody on Zoom? I see, do you see anyone? Madam Clerk?
I do not see any hands up.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned by Councilman Muscat.
Support.
Supported by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion on that? All in favor, please state aye. Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.